What's up, y'all? Welcome back, man. We about to check out some more Jesse Lee Peterson because our last stream we checked out, that was my very first video ever being introduced to this gentleman where he almost had a guy walk off the stage while the dude threatened to walk off the stage like 3 or 4 times. Listen, when I said I was gonna speak with you, I didn't know that you're gonna be questioning my character, brother. So if you're gonna question my character one more time, I would just walk away. And then he just sit there for like 15 more daggone questions. I'm like, bro, you know you wrong. You just trying to figure out how to get him back. And he never figured out how to get him back. Well, he's talking about Black Lives Matter right now. And I'm hearing that this thing right here is going to be fire. Please let me know what y'all think, man.
I absolutely appreciate it. I did a YouTube video, a commentary on Beyonce during the halftime of the Super Bowl. It was one of the most evil things I've seen happen in a public way. And I received a phone call from the Black Student Union at Trade Tech College here in Los Angeles, wanting to talk with me about my YouTube video. I have with me tonight Andre Shirley. Also, Michelle Watson is here, and we want to have an open and honest discussion about Beyonce and the whole race issue. Andre goes to school at Trade Tech, and Michelle is a community activist. Do you work with Black Lives Matter or the Black Student Union, or both?
Both.
Both?
Both, and also the Los Angeles Black Workers Center.
Oh, okay. What do you guys disagree with me about?
Let's go down the list.
My man said, let's go down a list. Uh-oh, it's about to get nasty.
Well, let's start off with how you described Beyonce and her performance. When you said that white people should have gotten up and walked away.
Why? Why is that a problem?
Race relations is something that needs to be talked about. It needs to be addressed. It has held this country back and held my people back for far too long. And until we can, as a society, sit down and understand what's plaguing us, we will never be able to move forward, ever.
But she wasn't talking about it at the football game.
No, she was bringing attention to the fact that there is lack of value on Black lives here in America.
But most people, when they go to the Super Bowl, they're taking their families, their kids are with them.
Yes.
They want to go there and just have fun. They don't want to hear Black people complaining about so-called racism at a football game.
So-called
If Beyonce
racism.
wanted to talk about it, she should have called together a meeting and say, hey, I'd like to bring everybody together and let's have a discussion about so-called racism in America.
Racism is not private.
We asked for this conversation. How many times have we asked for a conversation about race relations? I have a dream that one day my children will be judged by the content of
Black people been talking about racism for 50 years or so.
Did Harriet Tubman have to constantly go back before a conversation? We are at a point in society where us as young people, we're tired of seeing it. We're tired of hearing. I'm tired of walking down the street in my hoodie and being afraid because I just saw a police officer.
Bruh, okay, I wasn't gonna say something at first, but come on, man. Come on, you walking down the street in your hoodie, afraid of a police officer. See, I get the fact that you're afraid. Walking down the street in your hoodie and afraid. I get that. If you're afraid, you're afraid. Listen, I get it. Things happen that make us afraid, right? But you're afraid of police? Or are you afraid of the people that are actually out here causing harm to the majority of people who look like us? Until y'all are able to keep it a buck, man, ain't nothing gonna change. Y'all keep wanting to blame somebody else when we need to have this conversation with the people who we need to have this conversation with. Facts. Facts. If y'all want to talk about some real stuff, then talk about some real stuff to all parties that are involved, man.
Not being afraid because there's some people down on the corner that I don't know. Not being afraid because my next door neighbor is always in his garage. I don't know what he's doing. But being afraid because the people who are charged to protect and serve my life, people who are taking my tax dollars to have a job to protect and serve my life. So tell me about
Beyonce. Let me ask you about Beyonce. Beyonce is 34 years old.
Yes.
She's married.
Yes.
She has a daughter.
Yes.
And first of all, she out doing this booty dance, half naked, dressed in black, looking like a thug. Is that a good example for, and I'll ask you this, Michelle, is that a good example for other young girls? And should a married mother act that way in public?
Beyonce is a woman, and women have sexuality and femininity, right? And so that's where the style comes from. If it's okay with her husband, then it's no one should ever have anything to say.
If it's okay with her husband, then she's absolutely right. If it's okay with her husband, then she should be able to dress how she wants to dress. But then responsibility lands on her for all the young ladies that she inspired, that she encouraged, that all the young people who watch her and want to be just like her. And they don't understand that that's something that you have to wait until full maturity to be able to do. They don't understand those things. Why? Because she's not communicating that. We're steady talking about communication. Well, we really need to have communication because young people don't understand that they have to wait in order to act that way. They see somebody on TV doing it, they want to do it now, period. And one thing we need to realize too, and the young brother, I understand what you're saying too, we hired the police through our tax dollars. We don't want to have to worry about them. We want to look at them as the help. I got you on that. And any police, what's that? Oh, it's thundering out there. Any police who goes against his oath to protect and serve, and he want to be one of them racists, or he want to be just a drunk off of his power that he has, then he deserves to be arrested. He deserves to be have his ass whooped and all that. He deserves to be fired. Whatever you want to say, absolutely. You said the content of their character, judge them by the content of their character. Because guess what? In the black neighborhoods, the people that are beating the hell out the black youngins are black police, bro. Just saying. Occasionally white police too. Just saying. So when we have this conversation, man, we need to have this conversation. We can't always be so one-sided because then people stop listening, bro.
Is she a good example for other young girls to see an older woman acting that way?
Yes.
That is a good example?
Yes, because that's not their status. They know you are from a baby, a child, a little girl, a teenager. They're not a woman, right? And they know that. But just because they see a woman in its full manifestation doesn't mean that it'll negatively affect them.
Would you want your mother out doing the hoochie mama dance, half naked, dressed in black, where the world is looking at her?
Everyone is entitled to a good time.
No, but would you want your mother to do that?
I would.
Hold on a minute. Would you want your mother to do that?
Ask daughter. Ask daughters. You're speaking to people who haven't lived yet. You're speaking to people who haven't raised any children yet. And they're probably raising really small kids. But if they were asked if their daughters would be allowed to dress that way or perform in front of a group of people dressed that type of way, then they will differentiate. They're saying, no, that's an adult. You can't dress that way. You can look at it, but since there's no penetration, it's not porn, feel free. Because you know what I mean? They just let the kids do what they do.
Have fun in a black dress on national television.
Half naked doing the hoochie mama dance.
Beyonce was not half naked.
Yes, you are. But you didn't answer the question. Would you want your mother doing that?
Depends on how old she is. Yeah, it does. So, in my opinion, hey.
So would you want your 34-year-old mother doing that?
Why not? Like I said, everyone is entitled to their expression of themselves.
Is that a
She's
yes
not
or no?
just yes. It's a yes.
That's a yes?
It's a yes.
You would want your mother doing that?
It's a yes. My 34-year-old mother, yes. It's in the self-expression.
What is it that she's trying to express?
She's trying to express, for one, the powerfulness of the black woman, and the black movement
But that's
and
not
how she's
power
in
to go out
solidarity.
and hoochie mama dance half naked. That's no power in that. That's a weakness.
What is a hoochie
Women are
mama
doing
dance?
that in bars and clubs every day and night. Don't you think?
Showing one's physical beauty
Dance
is a weakness.
is a part of art.
But not half naked in the public. Let me ask this. Beyonce promoted Black Lives Matter. We all know that Black Lives Matter is an agitative, evil group of people who could care less about black people.
We do not
She
all
also,
know that.
let me finish,
I'm
and
not
then I'll let you
saying that
respond.
is- can
She
we not establish
also
that as a
promoted,
fact, though?
hold on, I'll let you respond. She also promoted the Black Panther Party, and we know that Black Panthers promoted killing cops, and they killed at least 2 police officers that I'm aware of. And in Chicago, black people were afraid of the Black Panthers during those days because they were so radical. She also promoted Malcolm X at a Super Bowl game.
Yes.
And you guys are okay with that, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let me ask
Yes,
this then.
promote my people.
Next year, I'm asking the KKK to go and perform a cross burning, dressed in hoods, white sheets and hoods at the Super Bowl halftime. Are you okay with that too?
We live in America where you have freedom of speech. If that's the idiocracy you want to promote, then
So you would be
you'll
okay
feel
with
free
that,
to
right?
do that. I would personally be a part of the crowd that's protesting it. As you said, white
But
people should have gotten up and walked out on Beyonce and Kendrick Lamar's performances. I would be that black person that would bring that protest to your front door
Why?
and ask you
Why?
how
if
as
Beyonce
a
can
black
promote-
person could you promote an organization that judged your ancestors on the color of their skin and not the content of their character, never even asked them a simple question, but because they were solely black, put them in chains and make them work on a field. And
The
these are the
KKK didn't
people
do
you-
that.
The KKK is a terrorist group, and it's the longest standing
And so is
terrorist
Black
group
Lives Matter.
in Los Angeles. Black Lives Matter is not a terrorist group.
So let me ask.
Black Lives Matter is simply an affirmation to black people that we matter, because we don't see it enough in our community. Nobody tells us, not even our parents sometimes, that we matter. So when we say Black Lives Matter, it's not saying that you don't matter. It's not saying that we matter more than somebody else. It's saying that we matter, and I can tell myself that I matter, just like I can tell myself that I'm beautiful, right? To affirm it to myself.
So is that a no about the KKK performing? You wouldn't support that?
Okay, first of all, let me get this straight. So you said the Black Panthers had people scared in Chicago, right? They had
You guys are not
people
answering my
scared to
question.
sell drugs in the
I
neighborhood.
refuse
They
to
had
answer your
people
question, sir.
scared to
No, I would not
prostitute
be on
women
board with
in the
that.
hood. The Black Panthers they started the free meal program. They started WIC
WIC,
program,
yes.
which the government has
Black
started to take over
Party.
because they fed
Yes.
communities, right? And so when you have the KKK who started things like Halloween, where they dress up in masks and go firebomb houses, black houses where they hang people from
Black
trees,
Wall Street.
have parties with black people hanging from trees like strange fruit, if you've ever touched up on your black history. But you have these KKK terrorist organization groups that have tormented black people for years, African people for years, but they are not labeled as a terrorist group. So then you have a
So-
black group emerging from
So
the
is that a
community
no?
called Black Lives Matter,
Is that a
and
no?
now we have to be a terrorist group, and we're here to rebuild the community, to hit the capitalist white supremacist society right in its face and stop it and say, hey, this is not right.
Okay, so let me go back to the question. Is that a no for the KKK performing next year?
Only if you're on the cross.
I'm sorry?
Only if you're on the cross.
I'm on the cross?
Yeah.
And then you'll be okay with it?
Yeah.
Why are you so mean?
I'm not mean.
Why would you want to put me on the cross?
All right, so hopefully y'all understood what she just now did, right? I'm gonna try to explain it. Hopefully what she was basically saying was, yeah, they've done some wild stuff. Black Panther Party, they've done some wild stuff, but we forgive them because they was trying to help the black community. Everybody that they shot or tried to get up out of here was not in the black community, or they wasn't welcome. And we enjoyed that. We would like to have that back. KKK, they did nothing but to the black community but chastise and terrorize, brutally do things just out of hate. So both of those people, yeah, they've done some things, but we're not giving them a pass because we were the victims of that. Black Panthers, we give them a pass. Now, Black Lives Matter, the way that she believe it, minus killing cops, they're doing everything else that the Black Panther Party was doing, in her opinion. That's where we are right now. She firmly believes, now listen, she's young. And y'all need to understand that people understand what they've learned up to that point. And that's what they speak on. So that's where we are. But I heard that this is about to get real good.
Because we disagree.
Because
Where's the love in that?
Where's the
your
love
in
in
Beyonce
you?
for at
Where's
least
the love in that? Let me
bringing
ask you
light to
this.
this conversation?
I wanna
Where's
go-
your love for Trayvon Martin, who didn't even do anything?
Where's your love for
according
Ezel
to
Ford?
he was a
Let me ask you
criminal.
this.
Omar Obrego.
Hold on. You said that Black Lives Matter make black people feel worthy and beautiful?
No, I didn't say we make people feel. I said it is a positive affirmation to ourselves.
They affirm you?
Yes.
And what do they affirm about you?
It affirms my being and the positivity in my being and the purpose in my being.
That
And you
she's a
didn't feel
strong
that
black
way
woman,
prior
that's what we
to Black
affirm.
Lives Matter? You did not feel that way?
No.
Why not?
Because the way that society is set up, it makes me feel that as a woman, there are things that I shouldn't have. There's a specific way that I should act. And that because I'm black, my chances of everything is significantly lowered.
So your parents did not make you feel worthy while raising you?
They told me I was beautiful.
And they
They
didn't
told me
affirm
I was
you?
smart.
And you
They
didn't
told me
believe
I was
them?
important. But
Did
yes,
you
I
believe them?
believe them.
So
But
why do you need Black Lives Matter
because
to
the way that you are
affirm that?
treated and what you are told are two different things. My mom told me I was beautiful now and I was smart. But when I go into society, they don't see that beauty. They don't see that
Who don't
intellect.
see it?
Society. Just because I'm black.
Who are you referring to in society?
I'm referring to the structure.
Are you
the
talking
way
about
the whole
white
system
people or
is set
black
up.
people and white people and others? Who
I
are
don't
you
think
talking
we're
about? Are you
spe-
talking about white people?
I'm not talking about a person.
Specifying any particular
I'm
not talking about a person.
I'm-
But somebody has to be the system that you're referring
It's a
to.
thinking. See, we have to
Who are you
understand that
referring
it's
to?
not a people.
But who are
it's
you
a thinking.
And who is
that's
thinking?
I'm referring to the
predominantly in a
government.
group
Who
of
is thinking
people.
this way?
The people who wrote our laws.
Who is that? Are you talking about white people, black people, Mexican, or them all?
White people.
You talk about white
Mr.
people?
Peterson, if I
Hold
may.
on a minute. Hold on. I'll come to you. You talk about white people?
I gave you what you're looking for, huh?
No, are you talking about white people?
Yeah. I'm talking about anyone who wants or feeds into white supremacy in this structure.
So you're talking
anybody,
about
whether they
whites
be
and
white,
blacks
black,
and
Asian,
others.
Latino, whoever.
Oh,
If you
okay.
agree with this white capitalist, white supremacist structure, then okay,
Andre-
that's for you. But if you don't agree, because there's a variety of all the races who don't agree, as do agree.
Oh, okay. So Andre, you wanted to say something. Go ahead.
So the way that the country is set up, she don't agree with that. She's extremely well spoken, but she's speaking on her side and her side alone. So we need to understand that that's where she's coming from. All right. But something that I said before, the more she lives and the more she understands, more she experiences, more she sees for herself, and the more that she acknowledges within, she's going to understand that she's depending on this group a little too much. And she's going to also understand that a lot of what make her who she is right now has to do with the system that's been set up. Nobody wants to give credit to anything that they don't agree with. I don't care if you just now help me up. Once I get up, I'm smacking your hand away because I was taught that you was part of the reason that I was down. And I'm still doing research, and once I find out, I'm a march. That's what we're going to do. We're going to march.
Yes. I wanted to say that I don't think it's a people. It seems to be a majority of people that have this racist thinking that I must keep this race oppressed so that I can stay superior. Although, I mean, our history do show.
Who are you referring to now?
I'm telling you that it's a thinking that's in
And who
society.
is doing this thinking in society?
It's been the Caucasian race for
So the white
ages.
race is holding you back.
No one's holding me back
The
because I
white
create
race
my
are
own
discriminating against you.
because of my
Yes.
race. Yes, it's sad.
And they have
Hold
set
on.
up
Where's
a
your proof
system
of
to where
that?
they don't have to discriminate, but they have a system that does it.
Where's my proof?
Yeah.
The fact that as a young black man growing up in this society, my parents had to tell me that I had to do things 4 times better than the Caucasian person just to survive in this country.
So your
But me
parents told you
being-
that?
Hold on. But me being a person that's objective and I can see both sides of the coin, I go into society, I do the same thing as my fellow classmates. Yet I realize that I do have to do more to get into society. The fact that before I go on the job interview, I have to figure out what I'm gonna do with my hair because my texture of hair is not what America deems job appropriate. So I have to go and cut my hair, although I believe that this is where my strength is because I am the only person on this earth that has this kind of hair, that can have any hairstyle without doing anything.
You believe
to
your
it.
hair is your strength?
All of this is my strength. That I have strength in here that I can't even contain.
Black
and I
lives-
think that is a reason why we have this issue with everything black people do. It's called a protest, an outrage. It's because we are passionate people.
No, you're very angry people.
Oh,
Would you
are
include yourself
angry?
in that?
No, I'm not angry.
I actually wanted to ask you, what is your
Hold on,
nationality?
I was angry like you people at one point.
I'm not
but,
angry.
But I
You're
was
not saying
able
that
to
I'm angry.
overcome it, and I realized that I had been lied to. You guys, most black people are so angry.
I'm glad he said that because his way of thinking comes with living. That's the only way it comes, man. It's the only way it comes. His way of thinking comes from not being around people who just want to complain all daggone day, but rather being around people who want to put their minds together to find solutions all day. That's where his way of thinking comes from. I'm speaking from experience. I was once angry as hell. I was once a part of groups, PKV, Positive Comedic Visions. I had ways of thinking that will blow your mind right now, man. But with thinking and learning and living, I learned something different.
at a point now that no race like you.
Okay, but
Not just the white race. Isn't that right? It's not just the white race.
200
The
years
Hispanic,
of racism.
the Hispanics don't like
60
you. The blacks
years
don't
of
like
Jim Crow.
You
I
know.
mean, constantly being told that we're less than,
No,
yet
but-
you go and get Botox and tanning
Andre.
salons and
Okay.
all this to look like
Andre.
us. You
And
perm
to
your hair,
address
you
the-
crochet your hair to get
Andre,
locks.
Andre,
but we're
Andre.
ugly.
Andre,
I'm just
calm
saying,
down.
we would have a reason to be
So let me ask, how do you feel knowing that most races do not like black people now because they're fed up with your bullying, they're fed up with your complaining and blaming and doing all that. You're turning off most people. How do you feel about that, Andre?
I would have to disagree with you on that statement, seeing that the
No, I hear from them all the
Okay,
time.
Okay, hold on. Let me get my point across. You hear from them, but I see them, and I think actions are a lot better than words. When I see black and brown doing a march on Washington, that's race relations
Well, those
right there.
just
That's
those
great.
radical, angry-
That's
angry,
great.
uh,
When I see Asian people standing outside the White House marching with Black Lives Matter, yes, yes. When I see people of other cultures going, you know what? See, this is what we have to do as a people. We have to wake up.
What do you
We
want?
gotta stop
What
listening
is
to
it that
this
you
rhetoric
want?
that's in the media.
Michelle, what do you people want?
What do I want?
Michelle,
When you say you people, what do you mean?
the complaining black people blaming others for the failure of their parents and their lives,
What complaint have we
blaming
made?
others for whatever it is you're complaining about. What is it exactly do you want from white people?
He about to start. He about to start.
Let me take a break. And
I'm trying to find out
I
what you
want-
want.
what's your nationality?
Answer the question,
Are
baby
you
girl.
white?
A black American.
Oh, okay.
What do you want?
You Caucasian.
Oh, you do? And why do you think that? Why do you think that?
Because you seem to separate yourself from us, should I say?
In
Put
what
us on
way?
the other
In
side
what
of the
way?
fence. In the ways that you specified thus far.
Meaning what? Tell me, give me an example and tell me what you mean.
You
How you
refer
mean?
to
How do?
us,
What do
the
you
black
people want from
here
white
as
people?
you
Meaning
people,
that I'm not
including
with
yourself.
you.
Oh, okay.
He's talking about the black people sitting on the couch who represent certain organizations that want to blame white people for the way that they're being treated. That's what he's talking about. He's saying that you have demands. That's why you're there on the couch. You have demands. So exactly what are you going to do? What do you want? What do you want to satisfy?
Just y'all by yourself, right?
Let me explain why I do that. What you don't know is that there are two realities in life. One is that of good and one is that of evil. And now that I've been able to overcome evil, I don't identify with angry, evil black people. I identify with other blacks and others who are on the side of good. And so that's why I say you people, because I have to divide myself or separate myself from evil and go along with good. So that's why I do that.
What is it that makes us evil?
I'm sorry, your anger, your blaming others for your problems, your lack of love and respect for yourself and others.
Okay, well, that's another reason why I wanted to come on the show, because that has been a misrepresentation, right? We're not angry, we're not pointing the finger.
But you're blaming white people for your downfall.
No, we're not blaming white people for our downfall. Basically, we're just saying when the so-called Emancipation Proclamation was passed, a certain system was also set in place to make sure black people didn't make it that far.
What do you want at this point?
I want race to be taken off applications. Why? What does that have to do with anything? I want to stop seeing my fellow.
What does that have to do with anything? You know, you just now set yourself up, brother. You've been there separating race the entire time, bro.
Young people being shot, gunned down in the streets for carrying a can of tea and a bottle of Skittles, walking home. I want police to stop using illegal chokeholds to take people down and then completely getting off of it. I want our politicians and our elected officials to see the people that march in these streets across this nation that's saying, wait, no, this is wrong. I want people to do their jobs. I want to walk down the street and know that I'm safe.
You've been brainwashed.
No, check this out. It's not that we want something from white people, right?
What do you want?
We want to see, first of all, this fact is, yes, in LA, right? Yes, in Chicago, that if you're black, you basically will be persecuted.
Who are you referring to?
I'm referring to everyone who looks down upon black people, right? Who feels that if you have darker skin, that you have a lower status.
Have you been discriminated against?
Yes.
By whom?
By white people.
What did they do to you? Tell me what happened to you.
They told me that I needed to wear my hair a certain way in order to be groomed.
Who told you that?
All right, a supervisor.
At your job?
Yeah, at a previous job.
At a what?
A previous job. I don't work there anymore.
So you were working at this company, and you went in, you applied for the job, and you, at the time that you were applying for the job, you told them, if you pay me X amount of dollars, I would come every day, and I will follow your rules, and you took the job, right? Is that right?
Yes.
I'm sorry?
Yes.
They can't hear you.
Yes.
They can't hear you, Michelle. Come on. So when you agreed to do that job and follow their standards, their rules, you didn't mean it?
Yes, I did, but culture is, everybody has different culture.
So you meant to follow their rules. Did you know about the hair deal before taking the job?
No, they said, right,
They said
groomed means you got up and you did your hair, you did your face, you're aware of your whole appearance, right?
Right. And so you went in there with what, an afro or something?
Something similar.
What you did? What you go in there with?
With a ponytail with the afro and a little bang in the front.
And they said, nice. No, you can't wear that hairstyle.
They said it's just not it doesn't look professional, and they just made a recommendation, but they didn't say, oh, our rules prohibit you, but they said, oh, look, I just want to make a nice recommendation.
Right.
Okay, I have something to say. That's not discrimination. They had a preference that you looked a certain type of way. Why is that an issue? I don't know. Because all of you guys look up to artists, y'all look up to models, y'all look up to a lot of people who follow stringent rules in order to fit into a certain demographic. You can't name one person who does not. In order to be a police, you got to follow certain rules and be dressed a certain type of way. And those are people that we pay without taxes, right? Well, they can't be there dressed a certain type of way. they have to be dressed in the way that I don't know exactly how they need to be dressed, but their hair need to be a certain length. Their facial hair need to be a certain length. In the military, the same exact way. So we are so quick to say, oh man, that's discrimination, that's racism, you're being a racist, you don't like me. Well, that person might not have liked you. That person might not have liked you. But guess what? You could have handled that. And we all have been through that at some point. But guess what? That's a job. That's a potential career. If that job does not work for you, you go get another job. That's a part of the hustle. You got to work for what you want. And since it's not yours, you got to follow other people's rules until you create your own, where you can hire people to do whatever they want. You hire somebody and they come to work every day, you know, dressing the way that their culture says that they should be able to dress. How's that going to make you feel as the employer? Like you have absolutely no control. You're going to have your own ways that you want people to do business if you ever get your own business. You probably have your own business right now, and you're creating your own rules right now. But one thing that you're going to realize is that the bigger you become, the more structure you're going to have. With structure comes rules, and some people are not going to get their way. And then when some people do not get their way, they're either going to accept it or they're going to, you know, moan about it, complain about it, or be angry or fire back about it, say something about it. It is what it is. This is the real world we're in. It's the real world. You can't just go to somebody's place of business and say, well, listen to me. This hair right here, this is my culture right here. You most certainly can. I used to do that all the time. I used to be the first. I was working up until I was 42 years old when I retired from the federal government. And I used to be ridiculous, man. Ridiculous. You talking about somebody that was angry? Please. My wife used to always say, are you trying to get fired? Like, really? Are you trying to get fired? Nah, I was just upset. And I wanted to challenge everyone on everything. Then when you get tired of being upset all the damn time and you realize, whoa, they're actually cool. They're actually good people. You give them a chance. You hear them out. You have a good conversation. You realize that people don't always have to think like you in order for them to be good. But we separating so many people. We want to demonize people so bad. We want there to be a fight because of the system that has been holding you back. But I bet y'all can both name like 30 black millionaires and name a couple of billionaires as well who, in your mind, still represent the culture. But guess what they had to do? They had to work with a whole bunch of black, white, Asian, Latino, a whole bunch of people in order to get what they are. Because they realized if they had that same mindset of I'm not dealing with nobody but people who are thinking like me and blah, blah, blah. Okay, those people are negative because it's far more people. If you feel like you are a child of God, then you already know that those people are your brothers and sisters. And you can't only pick and choose which ones you're going to be kind to, regardless of their rules. You go and make your own rules, or you go somewhere else who have rules that you're able to follow. Period. When does the sheep tell the shepherd what to do? I don't know. When is the sheep? Y'all think, if all of us sheep get together, then guess what? We can daggone take down the shepherd. Matter of fact, we'll be walking him.
And did they have a right to make that recommendation?
No, they didn't have a right.
Did they own the company?
No, they did not own the company.
Who owned the company?
The owner nobody owned the company.
Somebody have to own the company.
Nobody, it wasn't a company.
These people can't communicate.
You got a job.
These are the wrong folks up here.
Oh, wow.
I'm not getting any real answers or anything.
I think you've
Where'd you
gotten
get
some
these
very
people
clear.
from?
Excuse me, sir.
You
Can
guys
you
are not
offend
even
my-
communicating. I thought this
Excuse
was
me,
going to
can
be
you not
like
offend
that.
my intelligence while I'm sitting right in front of you? You asked me for clear answers. I gave you clear answers.
I thought this
you
was gonna-
choose to have
But
a
you guys are
discussion
not
with
even
the sister
discussing.
because
I'm trying to get some understanding as to what is wrong and what we can do about the problem. But you guys won't really.
Okay, I can tell you,
communicate
you're
and
off
telling me.
You're focusing on problem, but you're not
I'm trying
focusing
to-
on the solution,
I'm trying-
right?
and we'll get to
And
that.
you want to know what the solution would be?
No, we need to find out what is the problem. Have you been discriminated against? Who discriminated against you, and why?
I've been discriminated
Well,
against. I've been
it
told
was the
that I had to
policy
get a
that
haircut.
allowed the recommendation to even come in. So it's policies that are created that people have to go by that perpetrate discrimination.
Was this with a private business that you were working for?
No,
at the
it was
time?
not
Was it a
private
government business?
Yes, it was.
And so the government rules are you can wear your hair any kind of way you want to?
As long as it's decent.
And so did your supervisor approach you about your hair once you got this job?
Be more specific in your
You said
question.
you got this job, and did you quit the job or you got fired?
I quit.
You quit, and you quit because of they recommend a different hairstyle.
No, that's not the reason why I quit.
Why did you quit?
Because I felt that I wanted more fulfilling work.
So where's the racism in that? Then you quit because you were not fulfilled. You said that was an example of you being discriminated against.
Right, but
Now you're
that's just
saying-
something that
now
black
you're
people
saying
on a
you
daily
wanted to
basis
be
we have to
fulfilled.
work through.
So
I
was
had
it-
to work through that, right?
So
I
was
had to
it-
conform to that.
So was
but
it racism
ultimately,
or you wanted to be fulfilled?
Mr. Peterson.
Wait a
it
minute,
was
I'll
an
come to you right
instance
after this.
on the job. It wasn't the final conclusion on the job.
So you quit because you wanted to be fulfilled, not because of discrimination about your hair.
Right.
But you just said that was you.
A problem.
But it had nothing to do with racism. You was not fulfilled. Why did you try to make that into racism?
But it's discrimination that we face, that all black people face on a daily basis,
But
that
you-
we have to work through because it's like, okay, hey, am I going to tell them I'm going to wear my hair the way I want to, or am I going to work this out to the
Michelle,
next week
you're
and make sure
making
that I
this
can
up
get a
because
check?
you have not given me an example of you being discriminated against. I asked for an
think
Not
example.
valid
Like
enough
you're
for
being
Both
you.
of you
boxer
are
into a
running
corner.
around crying racism.
I'm not
and
crying
yet you
racism.
haven't given me an
Can you
example.
stop doing
Hold
that?
on.
I didn't
hold
say
on.
racism,
I'm
I
just
said
asking you to stop
discrimination.
making
You
such
haven't given me an
broad
example you've been
statements.
discriminated against.
Okay.
Have you been discriminated against?
Yes, I have been discriminated
And who
against.
discriminated against
An
you?
employer discriminated against me. They asked me to cut my hair.
Was it a white man or a white
This was
person?
a
or people?
Caucasian female.
Okay, and so private job?
No,
Private-
this is a public sector job.
Okay, so you fill out the application
I filled out the application.
and you said on the app that I will follow the rules if
that
you
I
pay
would
me
follow
X
the
amount of
rules.
dollars.
Yes.
And did you have the afro at the time?
Yes, I had my afro at the time.
And they still hired you.
And they hired me.
And so you went in and they said what to you? This
That-
is a white female boss, right?
Yes, after
And this is
after
a government
doing a
job.
great job.
And so you go into the office, she call you in,
Yes.
and she says what to you about your hair?
She told me that I had to cut my hair, that my hair had gotten too long and looked unmanaged.
Oh, okay. And what's wrong with that?
A lot is wrong with that.
Why? Why don't you want to look? I wouldn't hire you with that hair looking like that.
Why?
It's not. It doesn't
That's
look.
my natural hair texture.
It doesn't look
Get
professional.
off the stage. Let's
Yeah, I'm not feeling this.
It doesn't look professional.
No, they're gonna leave now. We're leaving. We're leaving.
Hold on.
Yeah,
No, we're
you
done.
ready?
You're done, Michelle. Now you can stay, baby, and
Yeah.
then I really don't know
I'll
you.
stay.
Why is she?
All right.
Why is she
But
brought you
You're
around?
traumatizing them.
She said you're traumatizing them. Sheesh. How she said, hold on, they getting up and leaving. I didn't even know they had an audience. I didn't even know they had an audience, bro.
Hair texture.
It doesn't look
Get
professional.
off the stage. Let's
Yeah, I'm not feeling this.
It doesn't look professional.
No, they're gonna leave now. We're leaving. We're leaving.
Hold on.
Yeah,
No, we're
you
done.
ready?
You're done, Michelle. Now you can stay, baby, and
Yeah.
then I really don't know
I'll
you.
stay.
Why is she?
All right.
Why is she brought you
You're
around?
traumatizing them.
Goodbye.
Stop letting your ass. Yeah, spectacle. Google me. My name's Jasmine Abdullah.
Jasmine Abdullah. Y'all better Google Jasmine Abdullah. The young lady that's walking with her pants hanging off her butt.
I just sat here.
Are you her boss or something?
No, it's about black love.
Why are you
It's about
pushing her
love,
around?
And you see how they're doing this because you're hurting them.
Why are you
You're
pushing them
hurting
around?
them, and you know they don't know what to say. You're
you're
right now.
you're boxing
No,
everything in. This is not an open
Why
discussion
And
at
that's just
all.
hurtful. I love you. I'm not angry with you. I love you, and I feel sorry for you. I feel really bad for you. I love you. You got a lot of self-hate.
Stop pushing her around.
And it radiates
But you got a
and
lot
comes
of
out on
self-hate.
others.
Don't let that lady push you around.
No lady
It's
is
not
pushing
a-
me
no.
around because I feel more
It's
attacked
about
coming
love.
from you, right?
Yeah.
He stayed there as
I
an
feel
ego.
attacked
He stayed
by
there because he's a
you,
man.
but
No, you can't punk me.
I fight.
Oh, you do.
I stand in
No,
my
no,
Okay,
position.
all right.
I don't know where they came from.
We agreed to have an open conversation, not to be boxed into particular.
Is this a strong woman running right now?
Well, actually, I think
Is
that's
that a
probably the
strong
best
woman
thing for
running?
her.
Hey,
I know I should have,
look,
but
we're trying to do a TV show. Mark, don't engage. Continue the show.
Is that a strong woman leaving?
Honestly, I think that was the best decision for her to
Stop
make.
letting your ass
I think it was the best decision for her to make because she is younger than I.
I'm sorry.
She is younger than I.
Anyway, I appreciate you coming, Andrew. I mean, Andre. Andre Shirley.
Hopefully this inspired some black youth to actually get up and let their voices be heard. Apparently society will not understand if we don't just
All right,
come and
thank
tell
you, buddy.
them. Thank you.
Give me a handshake there. Thank you.
No
appreciate
problem,
you
brother.
coming. All right, thank you. man.
Hey, man. Jesse Lee Peterson always pissing them off, bro. All right. So, there's a lot to unpack there, but I've done a whole lot of talking already, man. We're going to check out more Jesse Lee Peterson. He was just trying to get to the root of why these young people are so angry, and both of their examples, the thing that has hurt them so much in their life was somebody told them that they need to fix their hair. Wow, y'all biggest example. Man, that hurts. Ooh, I'm affected. I get it. Malcolm X says that it would be perfect for black people if, in fact, every time one black person was hurt, all black people treated it as if they were hurt as well. That way, black people can come together and fight together as a people. Can we do that, though? Every single time somebody's gunned down in our urban communities, do we feel that hurt? Do we come together and stop that and nip it in the bud? Or do we encourage it? Do we encourage it by constantly buying the music that's encouraging this? Do we understand that drill music is a big reason why this is going on in these urban communities today? Do we lift them up? Do we hold them accountable? Or do we just ask for money for the community? Well, y'all, come on. We got Black Lives Matter. Y'all gotta give us some money. Come on, give us some money. Give us some money. Give us some money. Then what does Black Lives Matter do with the money once they get the money from their supporters? There's so much to consider. But we focus on just very specific things, but we don't want to focus on everything. Jesse Lee Peterson was extremely clear when he asked these people, how are you discriminated? And what do you want? How are you discriminated against, and what do you want? And your hair was the straw that makes you so damn weak. You are in a world where you have to battle with billions of people in order to succeed at something and create some sort of a legacy for you and your family. Or if it's not about you and your family and it's about you and your people, then you have billions of people to compete against. And you're talking about the system is holding you back. No, you are holding you back. And you feel sorry for someone who's sitting across from you, who has aged well, who's telling you that life got better for me when I stopped hating so much and started loving more. Then I realized certain things that were being taught to me while I was your age were lies. I was being lied to. I'm trying to tell you this, and you're saying you feel sorry for me. But then you allow somebody to tell y'all, you know what? This is over. Come on, get off the stage. He's bullying you. No, if you're going to go to anyone's show, be able to communicate, be able to articulate. Like, it's certain times where the young lady was shining, she was actually being able to get her point across. But then it got to a point where she was just, and she just didn't want to talk. She just wanted to throw jabs at him. Oh, you attack Beyonce? I'm attacking you. What nationality are you? Because I thought you was white. You're acting like it right now. You acting like one of them right now. Brother? He acting just like one of them white people right now. That's what you acting like. Because you keep on saying you people. Yeah, you angry man. That's what I'm talking about. You angry people. What do you want? At any rate, here comes second mic. I want to hear what y'all guys say about this in the comments below. If you have yet to hit that subscribe button, please make sure you do so on your way out the door. Once again, guys, I'm Van, and now we are all the LFR family, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video, hopefully inside the Patreon as well. Y'all have been amazing per usual. Love y'all.